What is up, everybody? This is Lyle, No Hippie Trucking and Transportation. You know, I've said in numerous videos that this is the easiest job I've ever had in my life, even easier than working at Burger King. And I had a comment that I kind of wanted to address. Before I get into that, listen, this is the easiest job I've ever had because of all the pain that truck drivers went through in previous decades. So I probably couldn't have done this in the 70s, 80s, 90s, maybe even the early 2000s. So where we sit right now. So I want to preface it with that. And by no means am I adding flatbed into this at all. I am merely speaking reefer. But here's my comment, or here's the comment. And it was from, I'm assuming, a subscriber. Beef Jerky said, "I hate when you say trucking is easy. There's so much responsibilities involved that could take lives if not acknowledged. And is so unpredictable, and any circumstances can occur at any time. I'm not saying it's the hardest job in the world or that it's rocket science, but to say that it's easy, I wish you would do a video explaining why you think it's so easy." All right, so let's just talk about my jobs first. You know, came out the box at 15 years old, worked at Burger King, you know, put in some time up there, worked there, and then my dad had a rental company, like I think it would be comparable to like Aaron's Rental or something like that. Rental furniture, stereos, washers, dryers, bed sets, stuff like that. So I worked there. Went in the Marines, came out of the Marines, went into car sales, and then car sales went into banking and business banking, and then went into mortgage banking. So that's kind of my background. Now, I think it's all a matter of perspective, you know, if you really think about this. And when I say it's an easy job, that by no means is saying it's not a dangerous job, or that I can't come out here and get in an accident, and that I can't come out here and get in an accident that's my fault. But that doesn't mean it's not a hard job because of the responsibility that you have when you're out here on the road. You know, one of my clients that became a good friend of mine for a while was a pilot for United Airlines. And he used to say the same thing. "Lyle, I got the best job in the world. It's so easy. I can't believe, you know, more people aren't doing it." You know, whatever. He was kind of going on like that. And he has the same responsibility, if not more, all this kind of stuff. The responsibility has nothing to do with how hard or complicated the job is, because really when you break this job down, you know, you pick some shit up, you drive it, and you unload it, or you drop it, or something like that. I think the things that a lot of people find hard about this job, maybe understanding hours of service. Well, my background, putting together a mortgage, especially a business loan, that's like putting together a jigsaw puzzle. So you have to really like think about stuff. So I think that figuring out the hours of service was a pretty easy situation for me. You know, I'm a very light sleeper. I'll never oversleep on anything. Rarely need to set my alarm. And if I do set my alarm, I never get woke up by the alarm. So as far as time goes, and I'm hypersensitive about time. My dad didn't play around with time. When I was in the Marines, they didn't play around with time. So I've had that instilled in me. You know, just, I don't know, I guess it all comes down to perspective. You know what I'm saying? And I did just get off the phone with one of my subscribers about 30 minutes ago, and he was basically saying the same thing. You know, I don't know how you say that it's easy, because, you know, here's kind of what I'm going through. And I mean, I don't know. But to me, I'm just telling you right now, if I was to even compare this to what people would be considering my easiest job, which was working at Burger King, working at Burger King was probably harder than driving a truck. Came with a lot less responsibilities, but even then, you know, people say working at Burger King is easy and, you know, all this kind of stuff. Well, just because I emptied a some French fry grease on my foot when I was, 16 years old doesn't mean that that job was any more or less complicated or more or less dangerous. It comes with its own dangers, I guess. But I think what I think about when it comes to stress is stuff that takes a whole lot of brain power or a whole lot of stress. And I think that one thing that the first feeling I felt once I got off my trainer's truck and all the training was over and I kind of knew what I was doing was the absence of stress. Being in the mortgage industry, every single hour of the day there's stress. You're stressed out if there's not enough business. You're stressed out if there's too much business. You make a mistake in that and your failed transaction on one, on a buyer could have a ripple effect to go into 3 different people's lives. So I'm still going to say it's the easiest job that I've ever had, but I'm going to probably take it a step further and say it's probably the lack of stress that makes this job. Well, the lack of stress is even more than the ease of the job. I guess hopefully that makes sense to you. So even if the job was technically hard, the absence of stress would still have me kind of put it in a similar category. Anyway, so here's what's up. Fleet manager told me he had a student for me, so I'm supposed to be headed out to Salt Lake City to pick him up. Now I'm sitting out on the yard. I decided to come out a day early, and now I'm kicking myself in the ass for it, right? I always come out to the truck a day before I head out. I was supposed to come out on the 1st, but I said, you know what, I'm going to come out on the 31st, and what do I get? I get a load somebody dropped here on the yard that's going 16 miles for $21. Those are loads that I do not do to people, okay? I don't care if I have to sit or whatever the situation, if it costs me money, you're never going to get a load that truck 271027 has dropped a load on the yard and you're running it for 5 miles or 10 miles or however many miles it is. It's just something I don't do. There are times when my fleet manager's like, you could drop it at the, a couple times I was running through Springfield. You could drop it in Springfield or you could take it to the 90. If that 90 is not at least 200 miles away, I will always, or if it's less than 200 miles away, I will always drive it to its final destination before I drop it at the yard. It's just, I don't like having it done to me, so I'm not going to do it to anybody else. Now, my fleet manager was trying to make a point, and he was like, you know what, here's why we do it. It keeps things more productive, things like that. Listen, I understand all that, okay? I do. And I'm sure it makes sense on a company level, but on an individual level, I won't do that to somebody. So, anyway, I took the load. I didn't, I kind of joked around with him about it, and that's going to be one I'm going to kind of hold on to when he gives me a load I don't want. I'm going to refer back to this load right here that I'm taking off this yard. But I drop this off tomorrow at 9 o'clock. Then I'm supposed to head to pick up a meat load. Forget what city it's in. Fort Morgan. So not too far away. The pickup on that is the window closes at 0500, which is going to be impossible for me to make. And then he's like, well, it's a drop, so that doesn't matter. I'm more concerned about if you can make the 90. It's like, well, why didn't you think about that when you gave me the load? So I said, you know what? I'll probably be able to knock it out. But I won't know until I know. I don't know how long it's going to take to unload this. I don't know how long the pickup procedure is going to take out there. I think it's pretty streamlined. And I'm sure the trailer's probably ready, so I shouldn't have a problem with that. Get out there to, forget where it's at in Salt Lake City. I think it's Peyton or something like that. Get out to Salt Lake City, drop this load, head out to the terminal. tell my guy to come meet me at the truck, chill out overnight so we can talk about expectations. Try to get on the same page as far as what he knows, what he doesn't know, how hard we can come running right out the bat, things he needs to learn. Then I'll get with my fleet manager and say, okay, we need to run this solo, super solo, whatever the situation is, to bring him up to speed. So probably gonna leave out that next morning, because I'm not trying to just hit it and quit it. I want to get in there and ask him what his interests are, who's he be with, things that make him smile, what numbers to dial, all that kind of stuff. So anyway, that's what's up. I'm just hoping I don't get stuck out in California. I could just feel that coming on. Headed from Salt Lake City. What I'd really like to get is a meat load from Hiram, Utah. Headed out east somewhere that's not New Jersey. But that's an update on what's going on here. If you guys did watch my truck order, Success Leasing did give me a call, and I ordered that seat package wrong, so the accessories were actually about $500 less than, I think it was about $500 less than what I had calculated up when I was ordering the truck, because I was ordering the seat package I ordered. All I really needed to do was pick the upgraded seat package, leather, all that, and then just have that be it, rather than picking all these a la carte items on it, which I kind of added on. Anyway, that's beside the point. Anyway, that's why I think the trucking is the easiest job. Not why I think, that's why trucking is the easiest job I've ever had. That doesn't mean that I'm not capable of rolling this truck. If I roll this truck, I'll still have to climb out of the truck and say it's the easiest job I've ever had. So anyway, that's about it. I do appreciate you guys stopping by No Hippie Trucking Transportation. Gonna try to come back here and get some sleep. I really couldn't sleep all that well last night. So hopefully I can catch up on that and drop this load and head out to Utah. Anyway, have a good night, y'all. See you later.